Hello friends, in this video I'm going to talk about Python Ki Pathshala. I have designed this custom GPT to make learning Python simple, easy and fun. So let's get started. The default response language of this GPT is Hindi, but I would like to demonstrate its English capabilities in this particular video. So therefore, the very first command which I am going to right is nothing but E. E stands for English. So as you can see now, all the explanations will be provided in English. So let's say I would like to know about a particular topic of Python programming, let's say for loops. So I will just write down the name of the topic, let's say for loops in this particular case. And as you can see, it will start explaining about that particular topic. So the very first aspect, as you can see, that it's going to first give the overall definition of the topic, right, in simple 1 to 2 sentences. Then, as you can see, it will also provide motivation. Why learning the underlying topic is important. If you go ahead, then you will be able to see a lot of metaphors, which will be kind of helpful to understand the underlying topic. So in this particular case, as you can see, the cricket and example of Instagram scrolling is given in the context of for loop so that we can understand right what iteration looks like in real life, and then of course it will showcase us how it will happen in the context of coding, right? As you can see now, it's going to provide us the syntax of the for loop, and then also examples, right? As you can see, it's giving us number of examples, right, so that one can understand along with, as you can see, the comments, right, for better understanding. And now let's say towards the end, of course, it's going to give us one quiz or one true or false question so that we can kind of read it, we can guess the correct answer and then see whether our answer is correct or not. So that way, right, we can one can improve his or her understanding. So now let me showcase you other interesting aspects of this particular GPT. So let's say even after this explanation, I am not happy that I am not able to understand for loops properly. So I can simply write down M. M stands for metaphors. So now this GPT will provide us more metaphors and examples which are aligned with this particular topic. In this particular case, it's for loop. So as you can see, it's starting with gaming example, right? PUBG, right? And then it's going ahead, and now it's giving one example from the domain of fitness, right? So on and so forth, right? So as you can see, depending upon your interest, you can pick, right? Let's say I'm interested in, let's say, fitness, then I will read this particular example, and so that I will be able to relate with the concept of for loop very easily by going through it, right? And as you can see, it's going to provide 4 to 5 different domains, right? With respect to metaphors. Now, let's say even after uh, going through this metaphors, I am not kind of satisfied. I would like to know more about this particular topic. Right? I would like to know in computer science, right? What are the applications of for loops, right? So I will just write down R. R stands for real life applications. So I will just say R. So then this GPT will give me real world use cases of for loops, right? So now I will be kind of more interested in this particular topic. So because now it's telling me right where it can be used, like for example, automating email sending, and then it's also giving one small brief example that how it can work, and so on and so forth, right? So there are other domains also, as you can see, that uh, data analysis, right? Calculating average temperature. Of course, these are kind of toy examples, but this will be kind of very much helpful to motivate one why the underlying topic is important. And now I am going to demonstrate the most interesting and unique feature of this particular GPT, which is called nothing but story. So let's say even after doing all this, even after reading about this particular topic in detail, even after going through the metaphors and even and also real life applications, still you can't relate with this particular topic, let's say. So then what you can do, you can just generate a personalized story based on your interest for this particular topic, right? For example, let's say in I want to generate a story for Rahul. Let's say the name of the person is Rahul, and S stands for story about Rahul. And let's say Rahul loves, let's say, dancing, right? Let's say Rahul loves dancing, and let's see how dancing will be kind of related to loops, right? So now it will generate an interesting story, right? As you can see,
right? And by going to this particular story, I'm pretty sure that Rahul will be able to understand the concepts of fall loop for sure, because Rahul loves dancing, and this story will intelligently relate dance routine with fall loops, right? So that's the power of this particular approach, as you can see. Not only hobby, you can also mention your favorite kind of web series, and then story will be aligned with that particular web series, right? For example, let me demonstrate this to you. Instead of this, let me write down my name. Let's say a story about Maipal, and Maipal loves this particular Squid Games. Let's see, right? And then let's see how it explains the concept of for loop aligned with Squid Games, right? So as you can see, it's starting with this red light, green light game, and then as you can see now it's starting with this for loop as a kind of survival plan. The purpose is explaining coding with the help of this kind of personalized stories, right? As you can see, right? And as you can see it's going up, right? So it's aligned with kind of, as you can see, the web series also, right? So at level 2 the different game is there, and now with respect to this game again the concept of for loop has been kind of explained, right? And then this is kind of final game, right? And so on and so forth. And let's say now enough about, let's say, for loop. Now I would like to know more about, let's say, while loop, but again in the form of story itself. So I can also give like this. Let's say story I want, and this time let's say the main character of the story must be, let's say, Jessica, and Jessica loves, let's say, Stranger Things, and she would like to know about, let's say, a while loop, right? So like this is my prompt, right? It's very simple. The syntax is quite simple, that you should be able to relate with it very easily. This S stands for story, then name of the main character, and then whatever his or her hobby, right, or favorite web show, and then you can mention the topic, right? So as you can see now, that upside down, that is the concept mentioned in the Stranger Things, right? And as you can see, it's building upon it, and then how that different kind of signals are mentioned, right, aligned with the web series, of course, and then how it's related with while loop that is mentioned over here, right? And then again one more example, and again we are also kind of going ahead with the story, right, along with these examples, right? And so on and so forth, right? So let me give one more example. Again I'm going to use the story idea. It's a story about Neha, and let's say Neha loves cooking. Let's see. Okay. So let's see. So now we'll get an interesting example, that how Neha and the perfect recipe mastering while loops in cooking. That's the title of the story. And now, as you can see, that it's generating something which is aligned with nothing but. So again, the it's this time it's aligned with creation of perfect cake, right? How to bake the perfect cake with the help of while loop. And the idea is temperature. While temperature is less than, let's say, 180, right, at that time you will kind of continue heating, right? And every time you are going to increase the temperature by 10, right? And initial temperature is, let's say, 100, right? So that's how it has been explained, right? How this concept of while loop is applicable in the context of baking a cake, right? And say now one more example, that instead of cake, now the example is of pasta, right? And so on and so forth. And so as you can see, this is kind of pretty much powerful tool. In traditional setup, we can only give, let's say, two or three generic examples, whereas this with the help of this story feature, you will be able to, right? So syntax is quite simple. It will start with S, then you can mention your name, and then whatever your hobby is, and then it will generate kind of a personalized story for you, and based on the previous response, of course, right? If you don't mention any topic, then by default it will pick the previous response as nothing but topic. But let's say I don't want functionalities in English, I would like to read the same story in Hindi, then I will just press H, and then entire previous conversation will be converted into Hindi, as you can see, right? And not only this, it also has kind of capabilities to generating Hinglish, right? So for that I can just write down this EH.
Apart from all this, there is one more interesting command which is called P command. P command is for obtaining partially filled codes for practice. For example, I would like to know, I would like to practice functions, right? With functions is nothing but one particular topic of Python programming, and instead of getting the entire answer or entire code in the response, I would like to get partially filled code which I can kind of see, and then I can think about it, right? What will the missing lines of the that particular code, so that I can improve my understanding. So I will just say p functions, and then it will give me, as you can see, partial template of this particular code, and then I can think about this missing parts, right? I can I have to write something over here, something meaningful, so that the code works properly. Right? As you can see, it's just giving me base case. As actual part, I have to think and write on my own, right? So then I can give my response, and then it will check whether my response is correct or not, and I can generate this kind of partially filled codes for any of the topic, right? For example, now I would like to practice while loop, so I will just say instead of functions, I will just say p while loop, and then it will give me partial template for while loop. So this will be kind of very handy when you would like to check your understanding with respect to practical coding, whether you can perform the given task or not, and that too with kind of minimal template required for performing that particular task. What I recommend, whenever you feel that you had a very nice conversation with this particular tool, you are encouraged to share that particular conversation with me. Right? What you can do, you can click on this particular share button, and then you can create one particular link of this particular conversation, and then you can send this particular link to me, or you can also post that particular link in the comment section below, so others can also learn from that particular conversation. This freely available on GPT store, and I also provided the link of this particular custom GPT in the description section of this particular video. Thank you. Subscribe to my channel for more videos.